Hello, good people. I hope you're having a great week. Well, this is the beginning of the week, so I hope everything's been going well for everyone and it continues to go well. So, once again, we have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Last night was episode 19 for season 2. This is their second season, and Salt Lake City's been really good. Oh my goodness, like they're bringing it. So this one was called Cinco de Mayhem. So we still have the ladies. They're out in Zion. The husbands apparently chipped in and they sent the ladies to Zion. This is for their mother. This is their Mother's Day gift. So on this particular episode, we started out with the ladies pairing up to do different activities. So we have Jen and Whitney, they go ATV riding, and then we also have Lisa and Heather, they go horseback riding. And we have the last three, Mary, Meredith, and Jenny, they go to the spa. So, of course, each set of people on their adventures, they have their little side talks. So we have um Jen and Whitney while they're out ATVing, and once they get to a stop, they have their little chat, and they're chatting about how um Meredith is backing Mary, and Mary said so many vile things, and um why would Meredith, Jen, apparently she's acting as if she doesn't understand why Meredith would have such a problem with her still, and she's going along with Whitney and Heather about maybe Meredith was the person that called the FBI or whatever SWAT team it was to the beauty lab when Jen was arrested. So, which is a bunch of crap because Jen has been under investigation allegedly for quite some time now, and I'm quite sure it's been over a year. She's been under investigation, her businesses. So, I don't even know why they're trying to have this narrative about Meredith being the person to set Jen up, because they know that didn't happen. And so then we go over to the next group, which is Heather and Lisa horseback riding, and they get to the point where they're trying to say that Meredith gave each of them a different day as to when her father's memorial was. Heather is stating that she told her it was on that Monday, and then Lisa stating that she told her it was going to be on that Tuesday. It's absolutely stupid to me. This lady has lost her father. She was at a memorial. It doesn't matter if it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Maybe it was on Monday, but she took time to spend with her family. It's a memorial. Goodness, this is death in the family. And they have brought it up so many times to it's just ridiculous. And it's really a storyline that they need to like just scratch and be done with it. And the week before, Meredith, she did flip out on them about talking about her family. She's already expressed to them, do not bring up my family. And at least they all know, and even Jen for sure, they all know that Meredith does not want anyone talking about her family. It was too much when Jen made her comments about Meredith's son. Even though a lot of people are stating that, okay, well, he was fair game because he's older than 18 and he continues to appear on the show. However, my thoughts are, regardless of how old your child that you gave birth to, he's still your child. And it's offensive for someone to speak things about your child that they don't know for sure. And especially when they're old enough for that person to be that person's mom or dad. Like, he's still Meredith's child and he's off limits, you know? It's really ridiculous. So they have that little tidbit going on. So now we go over to the spa, and it's Meredith, Mary, and Jen. And so they're just like chatting it up, and Jenny, I'm sorry, not Jen, but Jenny. So Jenny, she made the statement, she have that little fake storyline about her husband wanted a sister wife, but her niece blew her up earlier during the season stating that she was lying about that, and that's just a fake storyline. I don't believe it. Jenny's full of crap. I wish they, I don't know. I guess they already had so much footage, and maybe it's going to be too much for her, for them just to scratch her part, period. But she's still on there now, so we still see her. So anyway, so she's sitting there with Meredith and Mary, and she starts talking about her and her husband, Pudding Face. They're gonna she's trying to convince her husband to go to therapy. Meredith had talked to her about a therapist that her and Self were seeing or whatever. So it flashes back to show that Jenny had to sit down with her husband, and Pudding Face said he's not gonna go for it. That's not something he's ever done. It's not something he's gonna do. So point blank period, he says he's not gonna do therapy. Who cares? They're not gonna be on there next season. Good riddance. So then she looks over. Well, we hear Meredith ask about the families from it seems to be Jenny, and Mary. And we also have Jenny where she apologizes to Meredith about repeating the thing about the detective to Jen, which caused all the chaos, because when she repeated it, she didn't repeat it correctly, because the thing is that Meredith hired a detective to investigate all of them because she was getting, I think, threatening or some type of foul messages for her and her family, and so she was trying to see who was behind it. But the way that Jenny gave the message to Jen, it made it seem that Jen was the only focus of the investigation of the detective. So anyway, at the spa, Jenny apologized to Meredith about that, and the camera stays on Mary, showing her expressions like, that's a bunch of crock, it's a bunch of BS, you know? So then Jenny asked Meredith about if she's heard from her husband. You know, it was a general question, but the way that Mary is taking everything from Jenny is like, Jenny is fake, Jenny is full of crap, and she's messy, which is true. And if we remember from the week before, when Jen and Jenny was going back and forth about the detective information, Mary started laughing about something. And Jenny was nasty to Mary, and she told Mary not to chuckle. She said, don't chuckle. But I'm like, how can you tell Mary what to do when you're always yelling at Mary that she can't tell you what to do? You know? So it's like she's always being nasty to Mary. And then they were in the kitchen the next day, and Jenny, she was bringing up again about Meredith and just starting crap about Meredith. And so Mary got up to leave out the room, and Heather was like, oh, why, where are you going? And so Mary's like, point blank period, I don't want to be around this. I don't have time for this. Which is understandable. Why would you want to be in a room where people keeps bringing up things about your friend or someone that you're associating with, and you don't have a problem with that person, and you already know how this person feels about people talking about their family? So Mary point blank period, she tells Jenny that she's not going to talk to her about her family. So there's no need to be asking if she's talked to Robert Jr. or Robert Sr. Pretty much that's what she said. She didn't say those words, but in a nutshell, that's what she said. She said, I don't know you like that. I'm not going to talk about my family with you. And Mary excused herself. It seems strange, but I understood Mary's point. Okay, fine. She don't want to talk to you about her family. Let it be. So later on, they have the dinner at night, the Cinco de Mayo dinner. And Meredith is concerned that Jen has paid for them to have a dinner, because this is a dinner that Jen is put together, so to speak. And so she tells Whitney that she's not comfortable because Jen's already declared that she does not have money. So Meredith's like, okay, where is this coming? Where did the payment come from for this food we're about to eat? And she was like, she did not want to take part because she didn't want to have to do it with, have to have anything to do with Jen's shenanigans because Jen's already been accused of stealing from old people. So Whitney convinces Meredith that the husband's already paid for the trip and it's not something that came out of Jen's pocket. Okay. But it makes you think, okay, well, why did Jen have her glam squad with her? And then on top of that, she brought gifts for all the ladies, So they get out to the dinner table and it seems to start out nice. Mary was cold because she had like a sleeveless dress or something on. So she was cold. And so she was like, "Oh, I have to go. I can't stay out here like this. I need to go because it's cold." And she was like, she have to go get something. So when she's about to leave the table, Whitney asked her if she would bring back some blankets. And Mary said, "No." I love Mary. I mean, I know there are cold accusations and with her having allegedly her members to refinance their home and give the money to her and Robert Sr. And if she's doing that, that's some bad stuff. And Mary already knows God would get you if you don't do what's right. But Mary is funny as she's funny. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. But however, Mary tells Whitney point blank, period, like, "No, I ain't bringing no blankets back, So Mary leaves the table. And they was like, what happened? So Jen tell them, say, well, Mary say she going to get her coat or something. She's cold. Whitney asked her to bring some blankets back, and Mary said no. And so they was like saying that her attitude is like always negative. And Heather, I was liking Heather, but I can't do I can't, I don't know. It's I think I'm kind of out with Heather from this episode here. She nah. And then especially with her and Whitney, they keep going on and on with Meredith about that whole memorial thing. Like, why do you keep bringing up the memorial point blank period, especially when it's a memorial? This is death in the family. Why do you keep bringing this up to this lady? She lost her father. Don't you think that every time you bring this crap up, you making her think about the loss of her father? It's stupid. So anyway, Heather's made the statement that Mary was with her attitude is being a Debbie Downer, and all that. And they were saying that Mary's attitude wasn't that good. And so Jenny, she brings up to the lady that when they were at the spa, how Mary did not want to talk about her family with her, and Mary had apologized to Jenny like the night before about the way she acts, and she was like, it's hard for her to accept new people. And so Jenny's thinking that apology is not sincere or whatever. Mary comes back. She has her coat on. She went and got a blazer and everything, and she gets back to the table. And so they was like, oh, we need to continue talking about this since she's back. Well, Meredith suggested to them to talk to Mary about whatever problem they have with Mary, because she can't speak for other people and their actions or whatever, and Mary had not did anything to her, so therefore there was nothing she needed to say to Mary, because she don't have a problem with Mary. And you also have to remember that Mary is the person that's been on Meredith's side. She's been there for Meredith and her son when they was having the issue with Jen, unlike Lisa. Lisa took Jen's side, which was kind of low down and dirty, because if you've been my friend for over 10 years, you're my girl. And if someone said something to my son, regardless of what his age is, and if you know it's something that rubbed me the wrong way, but you go and kiss the other person's behind, nah. So I completely understand where Meredith is coming from. So anyway, Mary's at the table, and then Jenny, she's already told the ladies about how things went with Mary at the spa. And then Big Mouth Whitney. I'm so tired of Whitney. She stirs the pot too much. Like, okay, girl, what's your storyline? Why do you keep... Well, I know why she's doing it to Mary. Mary's been kind of nasty to Whitney, and I kind of wish they would have got back on the right track. However, I kind of feel that behind the scenes from what we have not seen, however, if you're in these YouTube streets, you know about Mary's family having interviews with Up and Atom, having interviews with Sherelle's World, and really spilling the tea on Mary about the alleged cult situation at the church, and about them allegedly getting money from members of their church, and that's how they have their lifestyle. And I kind of believe that Mary knows that Whitney has been behind the scene also, and she's either following whatever's on YouTube or even talking to people within her congregation or something like that. Like, Whitney's been digging up stuff. And even on the show, Whitney, she's the one who's constantly been talking about, they're saying allegedly Mary is part of the cult, that her church is a cult. She's the one who's been bringing all this, one of the main people who's been bringing this stuff up, other than Lisa, from when she had the guy Cameron, who's passed in, real time. But she had Cameron to come onto the show also earlier during the season. So Mary knows that these girls been plotting on her. And from what I can tell, this was their plan. They wanted to get rid of Mary and probably replace her with Jenny. I really believe that, because it was at the beginning, rumors was that Jenny, she really didn't have like such a big part in it, but I really believe that's what they were trying to do. So it's supposed to be take down Mary this season. Okay, back to the table. Mary's back. Whitney Big Mouth, she asked Mary if she likes Jenny. She said, "Do you like Jenny?" Mary said, "No." She was honest, and that's what I love about Mary. She was honest. She said no, and that's okay. You do not have to like someone. And so, and she was like, Jenny was like, "What's your problem with me?" She was like, "I don't have a problem with you." But she told her, she said, "I think you're rude." And so Jenny was like, "I think you're rude." They start going back and forth. And so Mary was like, "Okay, I don't care." She was like, "I did not ask you for your opinion." And they just kept going on and on. But Mary, oh my goodness, Mary, she was just spilling, she was telling her like it is. So then Heather, she wants to speak up, and she told Mary that she shouldn't treat Jenny like that, and that Jenny husband paid. And Mary was like, "Jenny husband paid? What that got to do with anything?" She was like, "Where's your husband?" And so Heather was really taken aback by that comment, because Heather's not married, she's divorced. And she was like, "Whoa." Heather asked Mary something about, well, who's your husband? You're married to your grandfather or something like that, your step grandfather. Oh, I don't know. I've seen reaction online about Heather making that comment about, so you're married to your step grandfather. People been going like crazy saying that Heather said something and she really stood up. Girl, you ain't say nothing. Mary made it known herself from season 1, maybe the very, very first episode, that she was married to her grandfather, step grandfather. We knew this. We know this information. You did not say anything we did not know. And I don't understand why people are saying, "Oh, she read Mary," or whatever. She did not. She did not read Mary. And people also are saying that Mary was offending single women and single moms. No, she did not. No. How? How, Sway? Anyway, because Mary's just saying, pretty much Mary was like, "What does Jenny's husband paying have to do with anything? Because you're here. So who pays you? Who paid for you? All of our husbands paid. You don't have a husband, so who paid for you? What's your point? What they got to do with anything?" That was what Mary was trying to say. I see you, Mary. I get you, Mary, with some things now, because you have been dead wrong with some of the comments that you made, and you really have to work on that. But I still like you. I mean, I rewind your parts of the show, girl. I'm gonna miss you next season. I don't know how they're gonna top that, because Mary is something else. So anyway, Mary, she really got onto Heather, and Heather was really pissed off about that. And I watched the Bravo after show, and Heather, she really was trying to drive it home that Mary was offending single moms and single women, and that was not the case. No, no, no. Mary's just trying to say, what the hell did you mean? What does that mean that Jenny husband paid for her to be here? So what? All the husbands did, except for yours, because yours is not here. But you here, so what? What they got to do with anything? I don't like her. You asked, I answered the question. What else is it? What do you want? You know? And so then Lisa, she's telling Meredith that she doesn't like the way that Mary's speaking to all the ladies, how she talks to them and how she treats them, and that Meredith should stand up for that. And so Lisa and Mary get into it. And so Meredith is just staying out of it. She was like, well, you can take up for yourself. You don't need me to take up for you, you know? And Lisa even made the comment. She was like, no, I don't need you to take up for me. I could do it for myself. So Lisa and Mary started going back and forth. Lisa, they calling each other fake. And then Lisa started talking about Mary's, I think first Mary said something about Lisa businesses being fake and that her life was fake. And then Lisa's like, well, you running a cult and you don't even have a congregation, all that kind of crazy stuff. It just really got blown out the water. And Meredith stayed out of it, which Lisa did not like. She didn't like that. So Lisa gets up from the table. She goes running in the house, boohoo crying, because she don't understand why Meredith continues to take up for Mary, but she doesn't take up for her like that. Lisa, I'm going to say it again. You went against your friend and her child, Brooks. Yeah, Brooks is 18, yet and still, well, he might have been older than 18. I think he was 18 at the time. Yet and still, that's that woman's child. He could have been 35 years old, but that's her child. And that woman talked about that lady's child. She went in on him. And not just on the show, she was all on social media talking about Meredith's child. You're her friend, supposedly, but you sided with Jen. And you think that's okay? What if it would have been one of your little Wolfpack boys? Your little boys. Oh, let's back up for a minute. While Mary and Lisa was getting into it, Mary, she went at Lisa about Lisa eating Taco Bell all the time, because we know how Lisa loved to roll up to the fast food joint, Taco Bell, KFC. I don't know if she's vested in or what, but the heifer don't cook. She says she don't cook. Her family eats out from start of the day to the end of the day, which is, I mean, if that's what you want to do, they look healthy to me, so hopefully they're getting healthy stuff off the menu. But Mary was saying that she was not a good mom and that she needs to be a mother. She needs to cook for her husband or her kids, that they need nutrients. That's just the things that Mary bring up. Like, was that a good time to even bring up? What is the point talking about the way those people eat, Mary? I don't get it. But I love it. So anyway, when Lisa ran in the house crying, boo-hooing because Mary didn't take up for her, she was really pissed off. So she goes into the room, closed the door, and she just started going off talking about how Meredith was a whore and that she slept with half of New York. That's a huge ass population, and I really hope that ain't true. But she was saying she was just a whore and that she cheats on her husband. And that the reason why she don't have a house is because her husband can't keep a job. Sounds like she said every 5 minutes Self is changing his jobs, and that's why he can't have a house. She went in, and then all of a sudden we see her open the door with her top off, and she throws the mic to the producers. So they're considering it a hot mic, because I guess they're trying to say that she didn't know she still had the mic on. That heifer knew she had that mic on. She meant to blow up Meredith's spot. So, needless to say, I think that's the end of their friendship. And that's one of the sad things about when these women come on the Real Housewives franchise, and if they're really good friends, just like Nene and Kim, like they, at the beginning, they seem to be really great friends. And they had been friends for such a long time. And then when they got on the show, things just went, that friendship just went downhill. So it was a crazy episode, but it was good. This is a great season so far. I think, I don't know how many more episodes we have left of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They have taken the reunion. Mary did not show up for the reunion. Rumors are that Mary is not coming back to the show. It's also Bravo also made a statement that they let go of Jenny because of all the racist, according to Andy, disgusting. Well, that's a quote from him. He said disgusting on his after show. The disgusting things that were posted on her social media. And hey, that's supposed to be Lisa's friend. So Lisa, I mean, are the feelings mutual? That's your girlfriend. You feel the same way she do. What's up? But she stated that she didn't know about those things that was posted on Jenny's social media. So I don't know. It's really crazy. Let's see. There is another episode. It's going to be episode 20 next week. I don't know how many more episodes we have in season 2, and I haven't heard anything about when they're going to air the reunion or seen any clips. They have shown like the ugly outfits that they had on for the reunion. Oh well. So thank you guys so much for coming to my channel and watching my video. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel, if you would like, if you would comment, please. And I'll be continuing to follow this show and see where it leads us for this season anyway. So I'm not sure if I'm going to follow for the next season, if they have a season 3, because as I mentioned before, my girl Mary is gone. I'm going to miss her. She said some bad things. She needs to tune up some things. However, I like Mary. She's really funny to me. So at the moment, I am Team Meredith and I'm Team Mary. So, the other ladies, they have really worked my nerves. Oh well. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Until next time, you guys have a great one.